Welcome to the second episode of the Heartbeat Podcast, a hometown media Stettler production brought to you by Solution Core. Welcome, Landon, to another one as we get ready to talk about Stettler news, events, sports, and everything happening in and around our area over the past couple of weeks. So first off, there was some hard, sad news to cover and talk about over the last couple of days as the shooting in Tumbler Ridge. And we just want to say that our thoughts go out to everyone that has been affected by this senseless tragedy, a shooting that we don't see often in our country, and you might say have been desensitized to it as far as the American news is concerned. We see it a lot. But just from my perspective, I have a family member, a wife that is going to school to become a teacher. And when you're going to school to become a teacher, an educator, there shouldn't be these risks involved in going to school. The risks should be maybe a, young kid thrown up in your lap, or maybe you get a pencil in the leg or something to those extents, but not these dangers that we have come to see more and more often. And when you become an RCMP officer or a firefighter, the risks are there and the precautions are there as well. Those professions, they are trained to deal with those risks and those dangers. But when you're a teacher, you shouldn't have to deal with these risks. But unfortunately, in this day and age, those risks are there.
No, you mentioned desensitized, and I think that's kind of a bit of the danger here is we don't see this very often. It's looking like the third deadliest incident after Cole Polytechnique and the unfortunate Nova Scotia murders there a few years ago. But, it sure shows how small this country is when something like this happens, how we come together coast to coast to coast. I mean, we're 5 distinct regions. You could say the same for the states, but I don't think you see this kind of reaction down south when this happens. Maybe it is the desensitizing thing.
Mm-hmm. So we just wanted to start the show off by acknowledging that tragedy in Tumbler Ridge in British Columbia, and just to say our thoughts go out to everyone that has been affected by this. This is the Heartbeat, keeping a pulse on Stettler and the county. On the show today, we're covering the Stettler Board of Trade's AGM, state of veterinarians in the community, the Donalda Viability Study. Let's start with the Stettler Board of Trade AGM, as that was on February 10th. And Landon, you went to cover it.
Yeah, they meet every month, but of course this was their annual meeting. They choose their president, vice president, board of directors. Then they kind of just went over how 2025 went for them. They called it a year of bests, record attendance at the trade show, and then Stettler Fest on Main Street, as you remember, may have... if you were down there, had quite a few people this year.
Stettler Fest was great.
No, it was really good to see that that kind of street festival. Brings everybody out and get to catch up during the summer too, right?
And just to see how it progressed year over year, it was really nice to see. And when I went to cover it, I took a drive down to Main Street and you couldn't find any parking.
I do remember that.
I was like, this is Stettler and I can't find parking. Like, they took up my spots in my parking lot here at the office. I'm like, that's fine. I'll find somewhere else. It's just great to see so many people that were there. So it'll be great to visit Stettler Fest for the third year coming up.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was good to sit around with local business owners in town who were actually assigned some homework at the end of the meeting. They were asked to come back to the March meeting with just some ideas on what the Board of Trade should be focusing on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and my thought on that is, I think the Board of Trade should revert back to focusing this year in 2026 on businesses and the success of local businesses. Because like we've seen, a lot of good businesses, unfortunately, just couldn't survive in our market over the last couple of years. And I don't know if it's the location, Main Street, or what it is, but we've seen Oakland and Vine, we've seen Bloom, we've seen Standing Stones, less of like a retail store for therapy, but still they couldn't get enough clients, so they had to close their doors. The Rack Spin Bar, this is a little bit longer ago, but they had to move to the industrial area where they did have a great spot on Main Street, but I think it just wasn't viable. It was too expensive for rent. You have JoJo's Country Kitchen. That was recent. The Club Cafe, it closed again. And then you have, like we talked about on the last pod, the Jewel Theater, where we had it sit vacant for a couple years. So that kind of shows me that people and entrepreneurs in the area are hesitant to jump into things here in Stettler. And then we see the ones that have that entrepreneurial spirit and come and start their businesses. Unfortunately, we've seen quite a few fall and have to close their doors. So my question, I guess, is, as the focus would be concerned, is how can we continue to support local businesses? What can we do to have the community rally together to shop locally? What more can we do? Because I know the Board of Trade obviously has a lot of initiatives that they already do with Shop Stettler, with the Stettler Bucks, which does put a lot of money back into the local economy. So there are initiatives, of course, that they work with, but I think maybe a survey of sorts going around to the local businesses, especially on Main Street, because we are on Main Street as well. And as advertisers, we talk to a lot of local businesses too. You know, Josh and Vicky are out there doing advertising calls on a daily basis, and they talk with a lot of people, and there's just not the budget there, which to me reflects that they're not getting enough customers. So what can we do to change that, if anything? Or is it just at that point where you have too many options? Is Amazon the problem? Costco, Walmart, those places, are they taking way too much of the market share that our local businesses, again, I'm just focusing on Main Street currently, is that why they're taking such a hit recently?
I think the Amazon, Facebook, that issue is definitely, we're seeing the effects of that the last few years, but I think it's really about just finding a way, like you said, finding new ways to do things in 2026. Generations are changing. Yeah. People's focus is on new mediums. So I think it's just about finding new ways to collaborate and, find a way to get people to shop local, because it is easy sometimes. It's often driven by price. And if it's cheaper in a city, you go to the city, right? So
for sure. I'm not sure just how much cheaper it is, especially when you're taking time out of your day to drive there and everything like that. And I understand that a lot of instances it's just like you want to get out of town for a bit. So you're like, well, let's go shopping in Red Deer or Edmonton because, we just want to get out of town for a few hours. But at the same time, like you mentioned to me, if we were just a little bit further away from Red Deer, it might be more beneficial for our community too, right? To keep more people shopping locally.
Even just a half hour further away, would you make that 90-minute drive versus a 60?
Well, I don't make the 45-minute drive.
Oh, too much gas.
Unless I absolutely have to.
That is too much on the gas tank.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just saying that I think it would be nice to have a survey of sorts. Maybe go around to each business on Main Street and otherwise and see if there is something that, people in general, business owners, see what their insights are, because I'm sure they have a lot to say about their business and what they think could be beneficial to them. So if I were the Board of Trade, that would be my angle.
No, and we are seeing more of a push in that direction. Obviously, the focus has been on doctor recruitment and everything the last few years, but now there is more of an economic development focus, looking at talking to franchises, seeing if they're interested in Stettler, and again, that more of that focus on businesses, I think, with this economic development push. So, but it's good to get the people involved and see what they think. So,
And I just don't want to see Main Street here in Stettler become like Main Street in Donalda, let's say, who, if you go there, there's not very many businesses left on Main Street. And that's just the way it is. It's a shame. It's a beautiful area, the coulees and everything. It's absolutely gorgeous. But unfortunately, it just wasn't sustainable for businesses there for whatever reason. Maybe too many people came to Stettler to shop. You know what I mean? But you don't want to see that happen here in town. So that's my thought anyway.
yeah, it's another issue we're seeing too is the hollowing out of rural areas. When jobs disappear, people can't really afford to stay in the area.
Yeah.
So they tend to move away. And then we have a lot of these communities that a lot of them had railway ties throughout history. But as the railways have moved away, again, there's the jobs. So,
And was there any change in the board of directors at all?
no, not just. We got Dean staying on as president, Terry Chesla as vice president, and then, yeah, just your board of directors there.
So as I mentioned in the last note that, we don't really want to see our Main Street die and have all of the businesses close. I don't think that'll ever happen. Like people say, it is cyclical. Businesses come, businesses go. But as far as Donalda is concerned, there is some news out there as the county is having the viability study of Donalda.
Yeah, so the county's involved. Basically, the province is holding this.
The province is having it. That's right.
Yeah, so it's a survey going on until the end of February, just asking Donalda residents their opinion on whether they'd like to remain a village or join the county as a hamlet. And again, we're expecting a vote later this year. They've said perhaps June, but it could be the fall. So just kind of waiting on an official date for that.
Okay, and what does that specifically detail? Like as far as, like we've seen this happen in other communities around Stettler where the county is taken over. Does that just mean they don't have their own council?
Basically, like Donalda has its own council now where it makes its decisions locally.
Yeah.
Becoming a hamlet means they would be administered and run by the county.
Okay. So we'll keep our eye on that news going forward. What else have you been following at town and county regular council meetings?
Well, there was something in the county package this week on the state of vets in Alberta that I thought was worth a mention. They council members recently attended ASB meetings, so they're Ag Service Board meetings. They heard from a speaker who was talking about the shortage of vets, and one of the quotes that they had was 41% of vets and 50% of vet techs are due to retire or leave the industry by 2035.
Okay. And we have a shortage of vets in general, too.
No, like we saw with the doctor shortage, I think this has actually been going on longer. So it's our animals need doctors too, and it's
You could argue there's more animals in the area than people, too.
that too, right? So how is
But
this
it's
an
true.
issue we solve?
Yeah, no, that's, I guess we get some signs. Stettler needs vets.
Well,
We create a board. We, no, I kid. That's just the way the doctors situation started. But you could, local people, they got involved and, had initiative. I'm sure we could get some vets to the area. But again, this has been a problem for a long time.
no,
Not
it
having
is.
enough vets. Like I know people that work for the Stettler Vet Clinic here, and it's just a continual shortage. Not having enough vets, and I don't know what it is. I guess perhaps we have to have some kind of benefits again, like they're trying to come up with as far as bringing students back to the area after they're done school to work here, things
Nope.
like that.
And this is something Clearview is looking at setting up here,
Mm-hmm.
the public school division.
Yeah.
And speaking of the schools, is it something we need to be introducing into curriculums? Maybe even earlier, like junior high, maybe pointing kids towards like, would you like to get into veterinary school?
Because again, it's one of those, I would say, underreported news items in our area. It's a constant talk of the town point that we don't have enough vets, but it's not something I really hear in local media, or at least you're hearing it now at county council. Because at least that's being brought up. Like, once it's brought up, then you can start to formulate ways to change it.
No, and there's 100 issues that we deal with every day. We just need to zone in our focus on them to do anything about things often. And what I do like is that we often have these locals that band together, roll up their sleeves, and find made in Stettler solutions, as we like to call them, right?
And once again, like, veterinarians are so important. You often think, oh, yeah, you know, for my kitty or for my dog. But, like, we're in an agricultural area. It's very important during calving season to have vets around. It's very important for, you know, all of that element, too. And you sometimes forget about that. So very important stuff. And I hope they continue to talk about it. And we can, as a community and county, find a way to bring more vets to the area.
No, whether that's looking to the province for something, perhaps veterinarian training schools or something like that would do great in this area. Just spitballing ideas, you know?
Yeah, again, a lot of animals to work on.
And I think the care needs are different between small and large veterinarians too, obviously. So,
yeah, nope. Glad to hear they're talking about that issue, because I've been hearing about it for years living here in Stettler. Coming up this weekend, Landon, the Imperials, they are starting their playoff run. We're looking forward to that because, of course, we broadcast each and every home game on our Hometown Media Stettler YouTube channel. So make sure to join us. If you're not going to the game, we'd love to see you at the game first and foremost, because we want the arena full, the blue arena at the Stettler Rec Center. It's always pretty full, but for playoffs, you want it to pack to the rim, right? And the Imperials, best season to date, 16-1-1. Like, you can't really get much better than that. 2 games better. That's it.
Basically, and then one of those was what, an overtime loss?
Yeah. So they only didn't get points in 1 game this season.
No, and speaking of points, the league awards came out, and Dylan Houston taking 2 of them.
Yeah. So congrats to Dylan. I know since he came on to the Imperials team recently, he's just been doing nothing but gathering points and scoring.
A 43-point season in 18 games. So that's 2.4 points a game.
Yeah. That's not good at all.
Well, you're happy if your favorite NHLer gets a point a game.
Yeah, exactly.
So. No,
over 2 points a game.
Congrats to Houston and the Imperials on the stellar season, and we're looking forward to the matchup against Delburn coming up.
Yeah, so once again, he was the top scorer and the MVP of the entire league. So the Imperials 16-1-1, the Outlaws 7-9-2. So it's top seed versus last seed going into the playoffs. Coronation and Forestburg, they did not make the playoffs this year. And this is the road to the Ralph Wiest Trophy starting on Saturday against the Outlaws. Should be a great game. Again, should be a full house at the Stettler Rec Center. And again, if you're not in the area at the time, make sure to tune in, as we'll be broadcasting that game live on YouTube. Go Imperials, go! And some other events coming up. The Big Jack Classic Ice Fishing Derby starts February 14th. It's at Buffalo Lake. So that's always great. Landon, you're going to be going down to check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to be getting a tour of the whole shebang there going on. I've actually never been out there, so I'm quite looking forward to seeing some fish up close.
Nice. You'll get some video, and we'll get some stuff on our social media as well that you can check out. February 16th, Family Day is just around the corner. There will be a Family Day breakfast at the Hub. As well, the town is having their family activities at the SRC from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Ladies' Night Out, Mad Hatter's Wonderland. The Connect Club is having their Ladies' Night on February 21st at the Community Hall. Grab your tickets from Connect members. Wildcat Theater presents Harry Potter and the Cursed Child High School Edition, February 26th to the 28th and March 5th to the 7th at the Performing Arts Center at the high school. Tickets found at Bernie's box office at Wells Furniture. And again, come to the Imperials game this Saturday. It starts at 8 p.m. So that's our Valentine's Day plans.
Yeah, we didn't realize that was going to line up on Valentine's Day, which I'm sure our significant others are pleased about.
Well, I work at my other job too on Saturday, so
you're good.
I'll be selling some heart-shaped pizzas in the day and
Oh.
broadcasting some local sports at night. If you have an event that you would like to have included on the podcast, please contact us, info@htproductionsmedia.ca, or you can always drop by the office and bring a poster. So we've talked about a lot of things today on the Heartbeat. Once again, it is brought to you by Solution Core. We appreciate the sponsorship. Still waiting for our sign to be printed by Ember, but we'll get that on the door very soon to show that we have a studio here at our office presented by Solution Core. And make sure to visit hometownmediastettler.ca for more of these stories and as well the full details. And whether if it's on YouTube or Spotify, thank you for listening and watching the show. Just before we go, though, there was a story out of Drumheller with a Stettler connection.
Yeah, Drumheller RCMP sent out a notice the other day just saying that they tried to stop a vehicle that was reported stolen out of Stettler here earlier that day. I guess the driver took off high speed. They weren't pursuing just for public safety, but they did release a photo of the suspect there, just looking for the public's help to identify.
And Josh, we got that picture on the screen. Perfect. Thumbs up. That's what you like to see. So again, yeah, thanks to the RCMP for sending out that press release, because as our job in the media to share these photos and make the public aware of everything.
No, try to get the news out and reconnect the community, right?
Absolutely. So this has been the Heartbeat Podcast, episode 2 for February 12th. Again, made possible by Solution Core. I'm Alex Mykyta. That's Landin Chambers, and this has been the Heartbeat. We'll see you at the game on Saturday. Until then, catch the live stream, the recorded Heartbeat version on our YouTube as well. We'll have this audio from today's show on our Spotify account. All you have to do is search up the Heartbeat Stettler News Podcast, and you'll find it there on Spotify. Thanks again for watching and listening. Have a great day.